Hello, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to episode 1 of what will hopefully be the chronicles of some minor adventures and some major build projects here on a server that I am playing on called The Verge. And I'll leave a link to the website and the server information for you in the description about this. But basically, this is a vanilla Minecraft server, PvP, that has factions, and it also has MCMMO, and I'll get into those in a bit. But first off, there are some general rules, just basic rules that you would expect from pretty much any server. No unnecessary cussing or racial slurs or anything like that. No griefing, or no hacking. There is griefing because it is a PvP server. No advertising other sites and servers. And basically, if it seems like you shouldn't be doing it, you probably shouldn't. But quick tutorial on what the factions is all about can be found on this wall here, and I am at the spawn point for the server, so you can read up on this, but I'll also be going a little bit into this a little bit later. And here's another player who has apparently gone AFK and is just standing here at the spawn. Hello. Anyway, from the spawn point there are access to two locations here. First off, there is the wild, and secondly the town. Actually, I'll do to the town first, I should say. And when you go to the town, you will teleport, and it will take you to the town of Winterberg, where you have access to several little things. There is a shop where you can go in and buy stuff. So for instance, if I wanted to buy 16 dark oak logs, I could just right click on the sign and buy 16 for 32 pounds. And with items that you have, you can for instance, if you're holding something, you can go sell hand and sell everything that's in your inventory that matches that item that's in your hand. So it's a great way to make money chopping down trees and harvesting things. And there are 3 floors of different goodies here. You can even, if you can afford them, buy spawners, and there's records and just all kinds of stuff. Now, you can build withers on this server. However, you're going to have to earn it. You can't just buy the wither skulls. You have to go kill the wither skeletons yourself in the nether. So, good luck with that. But I am going to come over to the other end of this town here. For the most part, the town is just for show. Except, I should mention, you can actually buy these houses that are in town for real life money. You can actually spend money on the server site and become an owner of a townhouse. So, for instance, 4 pounds Great Britain, and let's see here. There's 3. That's a smaller one. There's a 3. This one is already bought. And there's a larger one for 5 pounds. Some have different floors. It's a very modest little town. Nothing huge going on here, but there are a couple other features. For instance, there is a crafting area with anvils, and this iron block is from MCMMO. It is used as an anvil for that. I should mention, you may notice the texture pack is not vanilla. This is called the Invictus texture pack. There are a couple things in this texture pack that don't have textures, like for instance TNT has that whole black and pink thing. But anyway, the crafting table, there is a vault for people who have donated, and you can come down here and take a look at the vault, and the doors are all locked to everyone except the people who own it. So like for instance, I can't open that one, but I can open that because I have donated. And the reason I've donated is one thing you can have is a pet that will follow you around. It's a non-combat pet. It's just a novelty pet. And also, I bought the ability to fly by becoming a pathfinder, which also got me some spots in the vault there. There is one little thing. If you are going to be joining the server and want to invest in the server itself, there is a one-time discount that you can get if you go into this little igloo here next to the shop. So I believe you get £1 off your purchase, and the purchases are in pounds because this is a UK server. It's not hugely busy, but it's also not always completely dead. Even when it's the slow time, there's usually at least 1 or 2 people on. Right now we've got 5 of us. But I'm going to go back to the spawn point and take you over to the Warp Wild. Alright, back here at the spawn point, went through that, and this pressure plate will take you to the Wild, or you can just type Warp Wild. There are actually several warp locations that you can visit that you may have to just read the intermittent messages that come in the chat. But this is the Warp Wild. This is access to the outside, so you can go on your own little adventures. And this is a safe zone. I will go ahead and do this part of factions, since I'm going to be talking a little bit about factions. I don't know everything just yet, but I do know some. If you bring up the faction map by typing fmap, it'll bring up an ASCII representation of the area that you're in, and with representations of the different chunks. Each one of these spots is a chunk. And since these are all claimed, there's some war zone there, war zone there. This is a safe zone area, and then the rest of this is wild, wilderness. And there's one little claim up north from the builders, and I will talk about that here in just a moment. Let me get out here. It is daytime, so it's relatively safe. And this is designed so you can't get back in. The war zone, you cannot break blocks or place blocks in here. Same thing with the safe zones. But once you get out into the wilderness, you can claim land. Now, claiming land revolves around your faction power, and by default you have 10 faction power, which can, there we go, in the wilderness, which can be upgraded by purchasing more faction power, and faction power is used for claiming land. For instance, claim O to claim a 1. I can claim this chunk in the name of VaulTec. And let me come over here to the wilderness and bring up that map again. And you can see that I have claimed a chunk here just outside the war zone. Now I'm going to go unclaim that because we don't really need it. Unclaim O. There we go. Now it is getting nighttime, so this is a perfect opportunity for me to show a couple other things. But real quick, before I do that, I wanted to show the contest that just happened. So if I go /warp build contest, I believe is how it is. Yes. It will take me to, okay. Which, by the way, I did manage to win. It will take you to where the access point for getting to the contest was, so you could submit, but the contest is over. And I did a little art museum here, did some paintings and some sculptures, and you can take a look at this on your own if you want to look at that. The floor is going to come into play here soon enough. You'll see it in some of VaulTec's builds, which I'll be showing you in a bit. It is a design called Starburst by the faction leader, Agent J86, who you may recognize from one or more of my other series, but I'm going to get out of here. This is the entry point for the faction home for our faction, VaulTec, and basically this is an acclaimed area, so only people who are allies or in the faction can access it, but there is a whole vault here, and VaulTec is from Fallout 3, and basically we're going with the theme of building underground and having basically an all-encompassing base that you can do lots of different stuff in. We had a mod that was in our faction briefly go crazy and destroy a lot of our base, and they were kicked for it, and we have been able to rebuild some, not all of it, but some. But as you can see, we've got some farms, a little mushroom farm in here, cactus, general tree farm, and there are several other things that need to be either touched up or completely rebuilt after the destruction. Here's some damage from the explosion. This was a much better looking spawner for having skeletons come in from a spawn area, so you could work on some different abilities there. A little bit of an automatic cactus farm for those. Oh, wow, there's lots of stuff in here. For those who want to earn a little bit of money, but let's see here. Let me sell hand. Can get some from the cactus farms. There is a room that I've blocked off temporarily that I'm going to have a small chicken farm, maybe a sheep farm down here. I have yet to decide if this is going to be an immediate upgrade, because this is going to be the faction home for players who want to join the faction, and the issue with the mod that went crazy kind of left a bad taste in our mouth, so we're a little apprehensive about upgrading things right now. I was going to put in a little diner over here with some villagers, but basically if you join the faction, join the server, and want something added to the base, you can. We have lots of accommodations for apartments for players to join, and we have lots of different rooms that need to be refilled and touched up. But here's that starburst pattern. Oh, here's some more damage right there. Some more glowstone was taken out from this. Oh well. Like I said, some touching up still needs to happen. Yeah, some blocks that are moderately out of place. Nothing too big though. There are lots of VaulTec bases, and as a matter of fact, if I do the faction information, you can see we've got over 300 chunks claimed with our faction power, and that covers several different base locations. Now, a little bit about how factions work. You can be either neutral with anyone that you start off neutral, or you can ally, you can truce or enemy different factions, and the permissions that the different members of those factions have are determined by what your relation to them is. For instance, you can go to a another faction's home if you are allied with them, but you can't warp to a truce home or an enemy home or a neutral home. So let me go to, let's see here, the Nether, because you can build in the Nether and you can lay claim to chunks in the Nether. There is a Nether spawn. Unfortunately, there is not an end spawn as far as I've been able to find. So you basically have to, if you want to get access to the end, you have to find someone who has an end portal. But the Nether here has a safe zone in the middle surrounded by war zone, and then outside the war zone you can see a little pillar right there. Let me fly over here, and it should say wilderness. Yes, we are in wilderness, and you can come in and mine some of the quartz and other stuff that's around here. But this is just your typical Nether. Occasionally the admin might pull a little trick and spawn in an end dragon in here just for giggles, give some people something to do. I have found that the ghast spawn rate is a bit lower than I'm used to, which I'm not complaining about. But there is one other thing I wanted to touch on really quickly before I wrap up here, and that is the MCMMO. MCMMO, and I can just stand here in the safe zone and not get attacked. There's my pet bat that I donated to get. The MCMMO allows you to level up skills. So for... Oh, I heard a ghast. Somewhere. There it is. Although I don't see it. If you, for instance, start killing things with your sword, you can level up your sword skill. Right now, my sword skill is level 338, and there are different attacks that you can do and bonuses as you level up, including percent chances and whatnot. Let's see here. Unarmed is another one. Right now my unarmed is 308, so I get an additional +8 damage to just bare fist punching someone, and chance to deflect. And there are several different skills. MC rank. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different skills to work on. As you can see, I've been busy. I'm in the top 10 on all of them. And as a matter of fact, I'm second in overall power on the server, which is kind of neat. But as you use your skills, your pickaxe, your shovel, your axe, your sword, your fist, bow, fishing pole, whatever, you level up and you get perks for doing that activity as you level the different skills. So that's kind of cool. Let's see here. One other thing about factions really quick. Once you set a faction, you can mark a home for the faction, and it takes you 10 seconds to go to your faction home. Other teleports only take 3 seconds, so here I am back at the faction home, and there's my pet bat again. Let me get rid of that for the duration of this, I suppose. Poor bat, goodbye. I can wear the bat on my head, or I can ride the bat as a mount. It's kind of funny. It's hilarious wearing a skeleton on your head. You have feet sticking out like horns. It's very strange. But the next thing I wanted to talk about is homes. You can set homes up to 3 by default, and you don't have to have an area claimed in order to set a home. So for instance, I can go home dome. I think that's in an unclaimed area. Yes, this is an unclaimed area, and I just found this dome of dirt that's sitting here. Or you can set a home inside somewhere where you have claimed. So you can use your faction home as one, and then the 3 additional ones that you get for free to set homes in other different locations. But another use for having faction or having homes is if you are working on a build project, or you want to have 3-second transportation to a location. This is one of VaulTec's little projects, and you can see Agent J86 busy there working on something he's doing. And we have a bit of a village here. This is not a typical VaulTec structure because A, it is above ground, and B, this is getting a lot more detail put into it. Let me go up this road. Got a nice little bridge here going into a fortress / castle thing. There's going to be a mage tower over there, somewhere over this way, maybe out of chunk range right now, of visibility range rather. There is a lighthouse, but I can't seem to see it. We have a road coming out over there. Maybe this goes to the lighthouse. Oh, there's a lighthouse. Little lighthouse. It's coming along. It's not done quite yet, but he has been putting a lot of work into this. And it's just a little project. We also have other bases scattered around. We have actually tons of bases. If I go to home base, for instance, you'll find that I have access to another starburst, and this one has not been rated by a mod, by that fiasco. Different bases have different things in them. For instance, this is an acrobatics training. If I wasn't on fly, I could just drop down this hole and skill up my acrobatics, which helps in mitigating fall damage. We've got some storage and sugarcane farm, netherwort farm. I've been working on shearing some sheep for a project that I'm going to be working on. So I've got this little sheep pen down here where everything's all corralled. And then I shear all the sheep, 4 different floors of them, flip the lever, and gather the wool. So I'm gathering a bunch of light blue for something, which I'll be going over in a future episode. But I think I've covered the brunt of the things that you'll probably be using on the server if you want to join. So at this point, I'd like to extend to you guys the invitation to join the server, obviously, and secondly, join our faction if you want. We have lots of facilities at our disposal, so we can offer some help. If you want to just go off and do your own thing, we'll be more than happy to truce and or ally with you or whatever. This is a PvP and raid server, so don't be surprised if you get raided. We have been raided multiple times, and this is a trust thing, part of the invitation. If you do decide to join the server and want to join the faction, just a humble request, please don't raid us. Like, join the faction and then immediately turn coat and raid. That's just mean. There's no point in it. If everything in this server can be gotten, and if you just ask, we probably already have what you want anyway, and we'll be more than happy to give it to you. But this is The Verge, and like I said, I'll be leaving a link to their website, and there's another player, and the link for the actual server itself. It's theverge.nitrous.it, and I'll put that in the description as well. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave a message in the comment section below. If you like this video and you like what I'm doing here, please give a like. I do appreciate that. And if you haven't already, let me up. Go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. But I'm going to let you go. Thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night, and I will talk to you later.